in emergency. The next important and crucial topic to be noted is press censorship. Media is one of the important pillars of the democracy, where it becomes voice of the voiceless. So during the emergency, a strict censorship was imposed on the press. So it was similar to the period where there were censorship existing in the colonial period. It was a British model which was followed during the time of emergency. Newspapers and journalists were required to submit all content for government approval before publication. This also resonates the policies which was introduced in Vernacular Press Act, where the Indian newspapers must visit the government and get the sanction before publishing a particular article. Prominent editors and journalists were arrested under the Maintenance of Internal Security Act, and dissenting publications were strangled by the withdrawal of the government advertisements. The government merged independent news agencies into a single state-controlled entity, ensuring complete control over the dissemination of information. So information was basically controlled by the government using this Press Censorship Act. This period marked as an erosion of press freedom in India. So press freedom was completely taken away from the media, and people were not letting to be known. The right to information was taken away from the people of India. Human rights violation. The emergency was known for human right abuses. Thousands and thousands of political opponents, activists, and journalists who opposed the Indira Gandhi's rule were imprisoned without trial. So, as we have already said before, by the 42nd constitutional amendment, which is famously called as the mini constitution, reduced the power of judiciary, where judicial review was taken away from the court. So the political opponents who were arrested could not go and get justice from court. The government population control program, as I said before, it is a truly needed one for India. But the forced sterilization, which especially targeted poor and marginalized community, was considered to be a human right abuse during that period. Slum clearance drives in urban areas led to displacement of thousands of people, where the beautification of cities, beautification of urban uh, infrastructure was put above the livelihood of people residing in the substandard settlements. These actions were carried out without any little regard for due process of human rights, left a lasting scar in Indian society. How it was resisted. Though there was a severe repression, resistance which was rendered towards against the emergency, still people like Jayaprakash Narayanan, who are arrested and jailed, were fighting inside from the jail itself. Underground movements and international condemnation played a significant role in highlighting the excesses of the regime, where the government was going beyond the constitutional limits of a citizen. Some newspapers like the Indian Express, the Statesman, protested censorship through symbolic acts such as publishing blank editorials, where they said that even they will publish a blank editorial and they will not go and get the permission of the government. And this purpose of the blank editorial was mainly to show a different kind of opposition where people understood without printing not even a single letter. The message was properly conveyed to the common man of India. This act of defiance, though limited, kept the spirit of dissent alive. This resistance was kept alive by the three things. First thing is that the words of top leaders, the resistance leaders like Jay Prakash Narayan, Morarji Desai, Charan Singh, George Fernandez. In the local level, like Tamil Nadu, it was DMK which was opposing the emergency period, and all the Tamil leaders were DMK leaders were arrested and they were jailed under this act. So end of emergency came on March 21, 1977, when Indira Gandhi lifted it and announced the general elections. So it was all mainly to postpone the general elections. Indira Gandhi believed that if the general elections is conducted in 1975, there may be a possibility where she can lose the elections. So mounting opposition both domestically and internationally. As I said before, internally, the leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan and local leaders like DMK's top leaders were fighting against this tyranny of emergency. Though they were in jail, they were consistently opposing the ideas of the central government and centralization of the power. In the subsequent elections, where Indira Gandhi thought that if the election was conducted in 1975, she may lose. Now, Indira Gandhi herself came forward and conducted the election, but for the first time after nearly 25 years of Congress rule, finally the Congress was defeated by a very young party called Janata Party. It was a landslide victory for Janata Party, bringing an end to Congress dominance and Indira Gandhi's authoritarian rule. This marked the beginning of a new phase in Indian democracy. The emergency had a profound impact on India's political and social landscape. It exposed the vulnerabilities of democratic institutions and highlighted the need for the constitutional safeguard against the misuse of power. So, to understand the 42nd Amendment is a very important thing to be known before studying emergency, which was implemented in 1976, which reduced the power of judiciary, which reduced the power of opposition leaders, which increased the power and centralized the power of prime ministership. So, I have given the 42nd and 44th Amendment in a separate video. Students can refer those video for added informations. Post-emergency reforms included amendments to prevent future abuse of emergency provisions was implemented through 44th Amendment Act. The period remains a reminder of importance of vigilance in safeguarding democratic freedom and the role of independent judiciary and press. The emergency was a defining moment in Indian history as a cautionary tale about the dangers of concentrated or centralized power and the fragility of democratic institutions. While it showcased the resilience of Indian democracy too, where we can see one way there was centralization of power, on the other side it was Indira Gandhi, Jayaprakash Narayan, who was fighting against the centralized power. So that is the beauty of democracy. One way it showed the weakness of the Indian democracy, on the other side it showed the essence of Indian democracy, where a common man can rise and oppose against a tyrannical rule. As Jai Prakash Narayanan aptly said, democracy is not gift of the rulers, it is the right of the people. Where Indira Gandhi started a life as a very amateur politician who went on from a position of Gunj Gudiya to the position of incarnation of Durga in India in 1971, saw her downfall very soon in 1975. So it is both as a life lesson for the leaders and the lesson for the diplomats of the India how democracy can be volatile. The lessons of the democracy emergency continue to resonate in contemporary India too. So to summarize the above video, the democracy is a very volatile thing. It's volatile, but at the same time, it is more systematic and structured. And every voices will be heard in democracy. The emergency was implemented in 1975, which went on for 21 months. It was introduced by Indira Gandhi to safeguard her position from the Allahabad High Court verdict in 1975. And there was also a growing opposition from the side of Jayaprakash Narayan through total revolution. This led to implementation of emergency, and during the emergency we saw how the opposition leaders were arrested through MISA Act. Second, press censorship was utilized to curtail the information to be spread against the central government. And very importantly, we saw how common man, especially people who are in poverty line, became affected because of the emergency. So I would like to reiterate the point of Jayaprakash Narayan, a statement of Jayaprakash Narayanan, where he rightly said, democracy is not a gift of the rulers. It is the right of the people. So I will end this class with this quote, and thank you for this opportunity. We will meet again in a different video where we will speak about some other interesting topic on contemporary history of India. Thank you.